claim. Modern day society has been destroyed by has destroyed family structure through high costs of living, a government reliant education system. I remember the first time starting school, I was super excited. I wanted to meet new people, learn new things, and find out about the world. By third or fourth grade, however, I had started after school care, meaning I would be away from home longer and see my parents less each day. I was in this after school care because both of my parents had to work long and hard hours just to provide for my sister and I. Subpoint B. A government reliant education system means that families are no longer held together by their children, and with both parents at work, they see their work more than they see their own kids. A typical day of school in the United States starts at about 7:30 a.m. and ends at around 3 p.m. This is from Monday through Friday. What this means is that children end up spending over half of their waking hours either at school or traveling to and from. And this leaves parents out of the picture and takes away from the family connection that all children crave and need. Um, the average college debt in Washington State is $35,000. As you can see here, it ranges from 4,000 to 10,000, and then 19,000 to 38,000, and it's steadily increased over the past 30 years. And if it continues at this rate, um, like less and less people are going to be able to afford college, and less people are going to be able to like pay for the cost of living. Um, Unfortunately, most people go straight from college directly into the workforce and end up living long hours stuck in a cycle of debt without ever being able to pay it off. Um, Subpoint A. A high cost of living means that both husband and wife are forced to live long hours with little time spent together with their children. According to the American Psychological Association, 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce. The divorce rate in the United States is highest amongst adults 25 to 39, people who have children. And this leaves millions of kids throughout the United States to grow up without a proper family. Children are forced to be stuck in between mother and father and aren't given much of a choice who they're able to be with, often leaving them in abusive situations. The average cost of living for a family in Bellevue or Seattle is, with 4 children, $140,000, with 3 children, $134,000, 2 children, $107,000, and with 1 child, $91,000. Financial issues are caused by a high cost of living that leaves little room for financial error, and couples that cannot communicate well with one another end up working both long overtime and are unable to communicate how to plan their finances. Children are left in the middle of this, being forced into after school care, daycare, babysitters, more than they're able to see their own mother. And the most common reason for divorce issues are communication issues, infidelity, and financial problems. People are unhappy in their marriages due to stress from work and financial issues. And the average wage in Washington State is only $72,000 annually. And if we compare this to the cost of living with children, even with 1 child, it's more than that. This means that even with 2 people working for full time, most families can barely get by and don't have any money to spend on frugal things. This leads to arguments between spouses and arguments over financial planning. And this wage was found by Bella Wong from Forbes.com. While there's no way to measure the amount of stress that work creates, 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce due to high tensions that are created. Coming home from work stressed out, parents can create an environment that feels unsafe to children, because children are able to pick up on how, especially young children, are able to pick up on other people's emotions. This means that they may feel unsafe, on thin ice, and just uncomfortable, even with kind-hearted parents. Counter argument. An argument that exists against this claim is that family structure is still visible, hasn't been totally destroyed, and exists for most people. And of course, I disagree with the assertion that family structure. Oh wait, sorry. And yes, family structure does exist for some, and many people remain happily married. But there is hope to starting a family and getting married. Um, However, the number of married people is getting lower and lower as people choose a life of singleness. This means that it's becoming more and more difficult to start a family, with many opting for their career instead. Through the stresses of work, the division of parents and children, and the high cost of living, leading to financial arguments, family structure has been destroyed by modern society. However, there is still hope. If 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce, that means 50 to 60% don't. And one must work hard to provide for their family, even if this means um, doing overtime, deciding not to do a bad habit, and so on. You must, or one must value their family over themselves, putting their children and their spouse in front of their own needs in order to provide for them. This includes spending proper time with their children and keeping their family in mind in all that they do as their reason for trying. Thank you.